What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. It is that time of the year where we do our Premier League predictions. Obviously, 3 games already done and dusted in the Premier League. First, the transfer windows of all the clubs, obviously, are done and dusted. So it's time to make those predictions. So we've got Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Overachievers and Underachievers. And I don't think you'll be too surprised of who we've picked as our Premier League winners.
Well, some people might, but this is a Tottenham channel, so I think there you go. I think we know who we're picking. Can't go for anyone else. Liverpool.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think it's obvious. Well, it's not obvious because I think there are other teams in the running, but Liverpool for me have got the best attack in the league. Obviously, Alexander Isak has just joined as well. I do think they're looking a bit frail at the back. But I think they got more than enough to go. Remember that the Man City teams under Pep that didn't have a great defence, but they were just outscoring opposition week in, week out.
Yeah.
And I feel like this Liverpool team could be similar.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think they've got good depth at fullback. I think it's just you worry if Van Dijk or Konate pick up a long-term injury, then all of a sudden Joe Gomez or an 18-year-old Giovanni Leone, I think his name is, he comes in. So then they could be a bit frail. I think with their first choice, I mean, they got some really good options. They even showed they can play Szoboszlai right back against Arsenal and still be okay. They've got unbelievable options in the middle as well. And obviously the front line is just to die for. You could say as well, they've got unbelievable options in the front line. But again, if Salah gets injured, they don't really have another right winger. So that's a bit of an issue. But you got Isaac, Ekitike, Gakpo. I mean, it's just incredible goal. They just got so many goals there. So they won the league last year. They got that experience as well, know-how. I think they're going to do it again. And
also, when you're looking at their first 3 games of the season, I don't think they've been incredible in any of those games, but they've got the job done against hard opposition as well. You look at Bournemouth, the way they've started the season. Newcastle away is always a hard place to go, and they've beaten Arsenal as well. So I think they've gone about their business. I wouldn't say playing well, but that's a sign of good teams, isn't it? Win big games without playing well, and that's what they've shown this season so far. FA Cup, obviously a very hard one to predict. Sim's gone for Tottenham, and I have gone for Manchester City.
Yeah, I think we're going to be out of the Champions League fairly early, like around February, March time. So that's my prediction. So I think we're going to have a period where it's just Premier League and FA Cup for us. I think second half of the season is when we're going to really kick into gear as well, because Frank's had more time with the team and the team will be more together. Frank's very good at planning for one-off games. He's a very good tactical manager as well. And I think we've seen already when we play some of the bigger teams in one-off occasions, we can really be their equal. So I think it's going to pay dividends for us really good, late in the season. And I think the FA Cup's coming to Tottenham. So I've gone for FA Cup.
Mate, that would be sensational if Frank can win the FA Cup in his first season. I've gone for Manchester City to win the FA Cup. They obviously won nothing last season. I haven't predicted them to win the league. I think they'll fall short in the league. I can't really see them winning the Champions League. I don't see Pep going 2 seasons in a row without winning anything. So I had to pick them for something, and I think the FA Cup could be the one. Towards the last stage of the season, potentially they might be out quarter-final, semi-final time, and it might come towards the end of the season where the FA Cup is the only thing they have to play for. So I've gone for Man City to win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Carabao Cup. Ooh, Sim's gone for Arsenal to win the Carabao Cup. I've gone for Tottenham. I've gone for Thomas Frank to win the first trophy he has available, obviously after the Super Cup. But I think the Carabao Cup could be an early win for Tottenham. We got Doncaster, and after Doncaster already in the latter stages. So a few kind draws, and even if we don't get a kind draw, I can back us beating a big team in a cup competition. Like you mentioned, the reasons for the FA Cup, I think could relate to the Carabao Cup as well.
For me, I was thinking about it, but I just feel like the Carabao might come a bit too early for Frank. I think the FA Cup's a better bet for me, but I just feel Arsenal got the depth for now. They can play a weakened team in the Carabao and not. Unlike in previous seasons, I think they really got the depth there. I think Arteta is desperate to end that trophy hoodoo, which they have now since 2020 when they won the FA Cup. I think they got a good early opportunity to do it. I think that's all they're going to win, but I think I can see them winning the Carabao Cup. And I don't know if he'll satiate Arsenal fans, but I reckon he'll take it as a win, Arteta, which it would be.
Overachievers of the season. This is an interesting one. Sim's gone for Sunderland. I actually had Sunderland down, but I've gone for Everton. I think Everton are going to have a very good... They've obviously started very well. The transfer window that they had, I think, is one of the best definitely in the bottom half of the table, that's for sure. I love the signing that they brought in. Jack Grealish is going to be brilliant for them. Dewsbury Hall is going to be brilliant for them. And I can see them fighting for a European spot this year, Everton.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like the business they've done, and Moyes has obviously got experience battling for Europe. He's done it with Everton. He's done it with West Ham as well. So who's to say he can't do it again? So, I mean, it could be a good shout. I've got them around mid-table, which is, I guess, compared to where they've been recently, an overachievement. I went for Sunderland. I think they'll stay up. And considering into the last 2 years, all promoted teams have gone down, I think it would be a massive achievement if they were to stay up in the current landscape of the Premier League. And I think the signings they made are brilliant. I think they've made a good start to the life with all the signings as well. So I've gone with them to stay up, and I think that would be an overachievement.
Do you think with the amount of money that Sunderland have spent and with the calibre of player that they've brought in, there should be an expectancy to stay up?
I mean, yeah, kind of, but also I think going into this, I mean, when the last 2 seasons, how they've gone for promoted teams, I think anyone who stays up is going to be seen as an achievement. You know what I mean? And it's going to be seen as something to celebrate. So, yes, I guess, I mean, it would be, considering they spend so much money, you won't be happy if you go down, but I think still you got to see it as something to celebrate massively if you stay up.
I'm looking at their team, like Granit Xhaka in the middle, Geertruida that they've brought in, the attacking players that they got there, like Isidore and Mayenda, I think his name is. They look really good. I mean, they've got a really decent team, and I'm looking at their team compared to like Brentford and Wolves. I think Sunderland might have more quality than them.
Well, I've gone for them to stay up.
Yeah. Underachievers. Sim's gone for Aston Villa, and I have gone for Arsenal.
Arsenal, wow. Yeah, Villa, I think they're not having a great time with it at the moment. Look, it's early on in the season, but I don't think all is well there. They haven't had a great window. I think Emre is getting frustrated. I also think I wouldn't be surprised if some way during the season they put all their eggs in the Europa League and start just concentrating on that and giving up in the Premier League. And I can see that meaning they lose focus in the Premier League. So I've gone for them to underachieve.
Yeah, I've gone for Arsenal just because I think it's going to be seen as a massive underachievement if they don't win anything this year. I think Arteta's going to be under serious pressure if they don't win. I'm looking at the squad. I think that they've got the best squad in the Premier League. And I think anything apart from winning the league is going to be a massive underachievement for Arsenal, especially on what they've gone through the last couple of years, finishing second 3 times in a row. So for Arsenal to have the squad that they have and to not win anything, I think that would be a massive underachievement for them. And I think Arteta, they might even consider sacking him at the end of the year. So if my prediction comes through and they don't win anything, then I think they'll be the underachievers of the Premier League this season.
That might be true. I don't think they sack him if they finish second.
I think they'll be under a lot of pressure to do from the fans, though.
There'll be some, but I think as long as it's close, as long as like they're not far away, I don't think they sack him. I'll be shocked.
Yeah, potentially. Did you consider Champions League, Europa League, and Conference predictions?
Did I do them? I did do them.
Yeah. So who have you gone for Champions League?
I went for... I can't remember who I went for. Barcelona.
Yeah, I went for Barcelona as well. Another year of development into Lamine Yamal. Hansi Flick, and also the way he manages the team.
Remember last season, they were very unlucky in that Inter tie to not go through. They were minutes away, weren't they? Yeah. Cherby got a last minute.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Jan Sommer had a mad game as well. So they could have easily been facing PSG in that final. They haven't had like an amazing summer, but they haven't needed to because they've got the quality anyway.
Just Rashford, really, they brought in, and that's it.
Yeah, but they've got such young players, don't they? Fermin Lopez, Pedri, Gavi. You know, they just need them to develop.
Barassi, yeah.
You know, when they had Pep, I mean, I know you can't really compare that team to this team, but it wasn't like it was full of amazing signings, was it? Yeah. It was all just players they brought 100%. Through.
Yeah, I've gone for Barca. For Europa League, I've gone for Roma.
I also went for Roma.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I'm looking at them under Gasperini. They're looking really good.
I like him.
The thing is, there are Villa there under Unai Emery, and I feel like Villa are going to go far in this Europa League. I feel like it's going to be a bit similar to Spurs last season with Villa, where they might take their eye off the ball in the Premier League, but I feel in the Europa League that they're going to be strong. And I feel like it could be Villa and Roma really going head-to-head for this Europa League, but I sided on Roma. And obviously Unai Emery's quality in the Europa League as well.
Yeah, but Gasparini's won it with Atalanta. He knows how to win it. I just felt Villa, this is a big year for them, big moment. And I reckon they go really far. They get to a semi or a final and they just fall short. And I think that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And I think Emery's going to leave.
Conference League winner. Who have you gone for?
Strasbourg.
Strasbourg?
Yeah.
Who do they even have, Strasbourg?
Good manager, Liam Rosenior. And they've got a bunch of Chelsea loanies. I like Strasbourg. They were very, very close to Champions League football last season in Liga. And I think they missed out on the final day when they were in the ascendancy. I think Liam Rosenior is a really good manager. They play really good football. And I think they're a team that's been together now. He's been there for a couple of years. And I've gone for them. I think they're a really good team. So I like Strasbourg.
I've gone for Palace. I've gone for Palace to win the Conference League, and obviously they qualified for Europa League, and we all know what happened there. They've got a manager who knows how to get over the line in European competition. They've tasted their first bit of success together with Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup and later on the Community Shield as well against good opposition. So, yeah, I've got a feeling Glaston's going to get Palace over the line this year in the Conference League.
I just think they're missing too much now. Eze's gone. I don't know if they're going to be as good.
I think they've got a stronger team than Strasbourg.
Maybe on paper, but I think football's not always played on paper. And I think Palace, with the situation at the moment, I know they had a good result against Villa, but we'll see. We'll see how they do this season.
Yeah, it is the Conference League. I don't think Eze will be the difference to them winning the Conference League. I think they can still win it. But look, those are our competition predictions. We're going to look at our 1 to 20s now and see how different they are. So, bottom four, we've got the exact same, in the exact same order: Brentford, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley. I'm looking at Brentford and Wolves, and I do really worry for them. Brentford have been stripped. Wolves have lost a few key players as well. And Wolves are on 3 losses in 3 games, and I just can't see where the next win's coming from for Wolves.
Yeah, the only reason I went for Brentford is they just seem to be a better run club, and so they have things in place where you can trust that even though the quality is not there, they might just have the edge over Wolves, where Wolves just seem to be a bit all over the place. They were very heavily reliant on Cunha and Aït-Nouri last season on individual quality. Without those 2 players, I think they're going to be struggling, and they've lost 3 out of 3. There's already pressure I'm hearing from Wolves fans on the manager, Victor Pereira. So I went for them to go down. Obviously, Burnley, I think, are the worst team in the league. Leeds have had a decent start. I just don't know if they'll have enough. And Farke has never kept anyone up, has he? So I think he's going to go down again.
Yeah. The next 2 positions, 15th and 16th, we've both gone for West Ham and Sunderland, but you've gone for Sunderland above West Ham, and I've gone for West Ham above Sunderland. Look, I think that Sunderland have done a great job in the transfer market, but I still think West Ham have more quality about him. Unbelievable result, which could be a turning point in Potter's West Ham career. We'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, we've gone for those teams, 15th and 16th.
Yeah, I just don't think West Ham's a very happy place, and I think Sunderland is a very happy place right now. So I think that could be the difference. I think Potter could well lose. I know he's had a great result, but he could well lose his job at some point throughout the season. Look, it's not a lot in it. I do think West Ham probably have better players, but I went for Sunderland.
Next point, 14th. You've gone for Fulham. I've gone for Palace. So for me, as you can see, I've gone for Villa and Palace, and similar thinking behind it. And I think their European campaign is going to take a lot away from their league campaign, particularly Palace, who have never been there. So both these teams are not blessed with the biggest squads as well. So I feel like their league form is going to take a massive hit because of the European football they're going to play. Yeah,
I agree, but I just one place higher. But I think Fulham haven't signed anyone, have they, this summer? Who have they signed? They've had a very quiet summer.
Yeah.
But they have kept most of their players together. I just feel like things might go a bit stale for them this year because of it. So I think they're a good team. I think Silva's a good manager. But I think when you're at that level, you've got to be refreshing. You can't just be keeping the same players, and they're going to be found out a bit. So I went for them to finish 14th, but I think that I reckon they'll be lower if it wasn't for how good Silva is.
Yeah. So you've gone for Everton as well, where I've gone for
I've gone for
Palace and Fulham,
Palace
yeah.
and then Everton in 11th. Have I got 12?
Yeah, you've got Everton in 12. I've gone for Fulham in 12. So I mean, look, Marco Silva always seems to find a way to keep Fulham competitive, and I think mid-table around there will be a fairly good season for them. And yeah, you've gone for Everton.
Everton in 12. You went for Villa in 13th.
Yeah,
Villa in 13. That's very low. Very, very low. Yeah, Everton, I think they're going to have a much better season than they did last few seasons. I really like the business they've done.
didn't they finish around there last season?
Can't remember. Wasn't it a bit lower?
I think it was around that spot because they had a very good end to the season, didn't they?
I can't remember exactly. Was it not like 15th they finished? Was that under Sean Dyche?
No, that was United that finished around 15th, didn't they?
Where did they finish
I
last
thought
season?
Everton finished around 13th or something, but maybe I'm wrong.
Let me see. I don't know actually. Anyway, I think 12th would be a pretty decent season. They're much improved. I like their team. They got a good first 11. I don't think they got much depth. So they finished last season in whatever. Yeah, I just think they're going to be much improved from last season. And I like the business they've done. But yeah, I don't know if they'll... I think they finished 13th. Okay, so one place improved. I have them. One up. I just don't think they have much depth. So a few injuries and it's a similar team to last season. But I like the signings they've made. So I went for them in 12th.
Yeah, 11th spot. You've gone for Bournemouth. I've gone for Forest. I've been very impressed with the way Bournemouth have started the season. And I think Iraola's a really clever manager. And I think he's going to get the best out of that team this season. For me, Forest, again, in Europe, haven't really tasted it before. I think their league form is going to definitely be hurt because of it.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth have signed well. I do think in the long run, the sales will hurt them. I think right now they're doing well. But I think 11th is fine. I think he'll do well to get them 11th. They've still got a good team, and they did very well against Spurs in their last game. But I still feel they're going to, especially in midfield, I know they played well. I still feel they're lacking a bit. And I think Kirkes Hyson was so big for them. I think they are going to be missed. So I want for them to finish 11th.
10th, you've gone for Villa. I've gone for Manchester United in 10th. And it's crazy to think about I'm going for Man U in 10th because if you would have asked me before a ball was kicked, I probably would have said United are going to finish 5th or 6th. But they've been absolutely horrific so far this season. And there's no real sign of the performances changing. Is Amorim the right man for the job? They've now gone out to Grimsby. It all just looks set to be another disastrous season for Manchester United, to be honest. Albeit 10th is a massive improvement from what they finished on last season. But they did have European football last year, so they had that to contend with. This year they don't. They're just playing a game a week, and it could stand them in good stead at some point, but you need to see some green shoots, and I just don't see it.
Yeah, I went for Villa just because I feel they're going to struggle to juggle both Europa and Premier League, and I think it's not a happy camp right now. I feel there's a bit of disgruntlement. They still got quality, though. So I think, mid-table, but yeah, I think that obviously they're not going to be happy with 10th. Emery's not going to be happy with 10th, but I think it's obviously last couple of seasons they've been 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
So big drop off for them, but yeah, I think it could be Emery's last season there.
Yeah, I agree. So you've gone for Forest just to miss out on Europe, getting in the 8th position. I've gone for Brighton to just miss out. And, 8th for Brighton is still a very good finish, in my opinion. 8th for Forest, I mean, they'll see it.
9th.
Is that 9th?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 9th for Brighton, 9th for Forest. I think both teams will probably be a bit disappointed finishing in those positions, but I don't know. I just felt the teams above them are going to have a better season than them.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Forest as well in Europe. And first time they've been in there, are they going to struggle to juggle with both? I like the summer business they've done. I like the window. We've got some really good signings in there, so I think it'll keep them competitive. So they're not going to have a complete drop off like bottom half, which I thought before they made some of the signings they might have. Kept Gibbs White as well, but I think 9th and maybe a decent run in Europa.
So 8th now. This is also missing out on Europe. You've gone for Brighton this time. I've gone for Bournemouth.
Unless there's some madness in the FA Cup. I don't know how it works. It could sometimes drop down to 8th, can't it? But,
yeah, it could. But just on the face of things, that's what would happen without European, domestic cups and everything like that. So look, I've gone for Bournemouth to have a strong season. I think they'll be really delighted to finish there.
Yeah, I went Brighton. I've been really impressed with what I've seen. I like how they run the club. I like the business they do. I like the manager. So they ran Europe close. I think 8th last season, I can see. So I think 8th again. I think they'll be close, but they'll just miss out.
And in 7th, you've gone for Manchester United. I have gone for Everton to finish 7th. And
Wow.
that is a bold prediction for me.
Yeah, it is.
For Everton. I know that, and they've been bottom half for so many years in a row now. But I just feel like things are going really well. First season in the new stadium as well. There's a good vibe around the place. They've made really good signings. Jack Grealish, who has been brilliant. Dewsbury Hall, who's been brilliant. Other signings as well. I just think Moyes seems to be getting a tune out of them, and I can see them having a really strong season.
I reckon United, and I reckon they're going to sack Amorim at some point. I reckon they replace him, and there's an upturn in form, and they have the quality there. Whatever people want to say about how they're doing right now, they got great players. I think the summer they got in Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, that's a front three that'll, that they could challenge anyone. So I just think they need to change the manager, in my opinion. I don't think the squad is built for a 3-4-3, albeit they tried to, but I think they failed. And I think they need to play a different system. Once they sack Amorim, get their act together, make a late charge for Europe. And I think if they have a new manager now, they could definitely challenge that top 5. But they don't. I think he's going to be floundering around, and I reckon they'll be probably mid-table until they sack him, and then they'll make a late charge for Europe and probably snatch the last Conference League spot. So I went for 7th.
So the top 6, we've gone for the exact same. The only difference is that you've gone for Arsenal in 3rd and Man City 2nd, and I've gone for Arsenal in 2nd and Man City 3rd. Like I mentioned before, I think Arsenal have the strongest squad in the league. Definitely got it within them to compete on all fronts in terms of personnel. I just feel like there's something missing with Arsenal. And when you're looking at like title races gone by, you're looking at Liverpool against Man City. When they go head to head, they proper go head to head. You know what I mean? All going at each other, high pressing, attacking football. And Arsenal just seem to be going into these games scared. And I feel like it definitely worked against them in the game against Liverpool. I can't see them winning the title. I don't think they're brave enough to win the title. And I've gone for them 2nd again, ole ole. I mean, Man City already lost 2 games this season, and it needs to be big improvements from Man City.
Yeah, but I still think I like the way Man City play. I know Arsenal are more defensively solid, but I also think they rely on it too much. They rely on set pieces. They just rely on getting mistakes from the opposition and stuff like that. I don't know. I've watched them earlier this season. I've not been impressed. I know City have lost 2 games, but I've not been impressed with Arsenal. I think the managers could be the difference then between who's 2nd and who's 3rd, in my opinion. I think Pep is going to find a way of getting a tune out of City in their players. I like the summer they've had as well. So I actually just went for City just to shade Arsenal. I do think it could be a real 3-way battle for the title. I really do. I think it's going to be very close. I think Chelsea are going to be a distant 4th, but in 4th. Comfortably in 4th. And then I went for Spurs 5th, just above Newcastle, albeit I actually think Newcastle have recovered well under the circumstances, losing Isaac. They got Woolmader, they got Wissa, they got some good signings in there, but I just think Isaac has been such a big miss. I think Spurs have recruited really well. I like the business they've done. And so I've gone for Spurs just to shade Newcastle, but I think it's going to be closely fought between the two.
Yeah, I agree with that. But look, that is our 1-20s. That is our Premier League and other teams outside of Tottenham predictions, all the different trophies and everything like that. Let us know yours in the comments section below. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.